Hey guys, this is Justin with Palmetto State Armory, and today we're in the Armory. We're going to show you guys how to mount a scope. We've had a lot of questions from you guys to have a little bit of an instructional video on how to properly mount a scope onto your rifle. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right guys, so before we can start the mounting process of our scope mount, we need to just make sure that the upper is level on the vise here. So I have a little bubble level here. You can use one of the longer ones if you need to, but this is what we have in shop. So I'm just going to check it on a couple different sections of Picatinny here. It's level there, level right there, or level there as well. So by ensuring that we're level here, we know that once we get the scope mounted and then check the level on the scope, we know that our scope is going to be leveled properly and the crosshair is going to be aligned perfectly. So now that we've got it leveled, we can get into the installation process of the mount. Today we're going to be using a Unity mount. This is a forward cantilever mount, so it's perfect for your ARs, and we're mounting it on an M110A1 today. The important thing on any AR is just make sure you're mounting on the upper receiver here and not onto the handguard. I know that seems pretty silly to even talk about, but I see people make the mistakes online. Don't be that guy. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on the upper receiver here. And what we're going to do from here, we're not going to mount anything yet. We're going to take our scope, and we're mounting a vortex up today, and we're going to start checking that when the scope's on there, that the rear of the scope is going to be just above the charging handle, and this is going to be the proper eye relief for most shooters. So, you know, it may not be perfect, but you just need to be in that ballpark, and then you can adjust your diopter from there. So I'm a little bit too far forward, but moving back a Picatinny, and it looks like we're directly above the charging handle, so we're going to go ahead and mount our scope mount here. Your scope mount's going to depend on the torque. This one says pretty clearly on there that the clamp is 35 inch-pounds. So we're going to go ahead and torque that down here. So I've got my torque driver here, and I've got it set to 35 inch-pounds as the mount calls for. So gotta go ahead and torque that down here. You just want to make sure that you're not doing them just, you know, straight down the line. You want to go outside first and then bring the middle in. And notice I'm not torquing them all the way down yet. I'll do that once they're all pretty evenly torqued, and then I'll start on the edge again here and get that one as well, and then we'll finish off in the middle here. So now that I have my mount torqued down properly, we can go ahead and throw the scope on, and then we can start tightening down the scope rings a little bit. Now that our scope's on the mount, you know, you could start leveling it now, but the problem is any bump you make and that scope's just gonna fly in either direction. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get our rings here, and we're just gonna do these to a hand tight. That way the scope holds in place a little better and doesn't necessarily run away. I'm going to go ahead and torque these down. I'm not, like I said again, I'm not going to tighten these all the way. We're just going to get them snug. All right, so now that I'm on my last screw here, I can go ahead and finish that one out. And you can see that the scope, I can still move it around side to side, but it does have a little bit of resistance against it now. And you want that just to make sure that it's not just going to bump all over the place when you knock it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our level. You can use your bubble level, your flat bubble level if you want. We actually have a scope level here, so we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. And what you'll see is some of these caps don't sit quite flush, so what a lot of people will do is just take their cap off and set their level directly on the turret itself. That's generally a flatter surface than on top of the scope cap, so I recommend doing that as well. And we'll go ahead and we'll do it with the bubble level to begin with. Get that nice and lined up in the center like that. And then since I have this tool available, I'm going to go ahead and use it, but we'll just throw the circle on there and go ahead and get that lined up in the middle. Okay, so now that it is correctly leveled, we can go ahead and start torquing down these screws. This mount, again, it's going to tell you on the side. A lot of them you'll have to read the instructions, so just keep that in mind when you're mounting your scope. We're going to do 18 inch-pounds on these rings here. This is really pretty important, guys, depending on your scope. You know, if you just go ahead and hand tighten it as tight as you can damage your scope. So I know it's kind of an investment to get one of these torque drivers here, but it really is worth it in terms of your scope's safety, if you will. But don't want to damage your scope, so I'm going to go ahead and set this guy down to 18 inch-pounds, and then we will go from there. Okay, so I got it set to 18, and now we're going to start tightening these. The important thing on tightening these, or really tightening any screws in life, whether it's your car wheel or your scope, you need to go in a star formation and just basically don't go straight down this line and then straight down this line. You're going to want to go, we're going to go here, then we're going to go here, 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 and then we'll reverse it on the way back. That just helps to apply even torque throughout so you're not canting it to one side. The other thing to pay attention to on these rings is they're not going to come completely together on these. So you want to try to make the gap as even as you can between both sides. So we'll keep that in mind as we go as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start tightening these. And I'm just going to go to hand tight for now, and then I'll come back through at the end and completely torque them down. And then I will go down the other side as well. So before I torque down on the last time, I'm just going to make sure that my bubble's where I want it and it's dead center, so I'm good there. And then I'm going to check my gaps one more time and make sure they're all even. And we're going to go ahead and torque them down. Again, we're going to follow that alternating formation. Okay. So now the last thing I'm going to do before I call it good is I'm going to double check my level one more time. So looking up here, it's dead in the middle, and then I'll go ahead and throw my level back on my Picatinny just to make sure the gun didn't become unlevel as we were mounting it, and it's good to go as well. With all this being said, I've successfully mounted my scope. Sometimes I'll go back through and double check the torque just to make sure nothing popped loose as I was doing alternating sides, but it seems like we're good there. So now that I've got everything torqued down and I've double checked the level on this, I can go ahead and screw my scope cap back on, and then I can head to the range, get this gun zeroed, and start enjoying my new scope. That being said, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and please tag us on social media if you get your scope mounted and you take it to the range. Let us know how you like it and how you're enjoying it. But otherwise, guys, please stay tuned for all of our videos. Please like and subscribe, and then comment below on what you want to see next. And then stay tuned to all of our social media platforms for all of our new product updates and all of our other news. Thanks for watching, guys.